Hi, Dr. AJ. How are you? We're about to get started. Did you get the email for today's grant? We're about to get started. I'm just trying to find out where I put it, actually. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Just making sure those are going through because I'm getting them on my end, and I see some people open them. But I just want to make sure they're going through on your end too. All right, perfect. So we're going to be doing America's Top Small Business Grant today. This was actually sent through one of the grant applications that we did. Mine came through 6 a.m. Perfect. That's exactly when we scheduled it to be sent out. So that's perfect. All right. So this grant opportunity actually came through when we signed up for like another grant. It was like a aggregator. So they asked for like your business bank account because they wanted to make sure that you actually had a viable business that you could that they could send you grants for. So there's like a place where you signed up, and if you're on the higher tier, it's actually in there because we have the list of all the grants that we've applied for there, right? So if you're doing the replays and you're in that Patreon portal, all the grants we've ever applied for are there. The contact information is there and you can see it. It was I forgot the name of it, but it's there. And it's like an aggregator where like they ask you for your information, they ask you your business name, where you're located, so that they can send you grants related to your business and making sure that you have actually a viable business. And this is one of the ones that came through. They sent me specific ones that were for like related to me, but I would suggest that you sign up for that one because they'll send you grants that are related to your business as well. And also, what else? Yeah, and then they're going to ask you for like business specific information because they want to make sure that you're a viable business. All right, so they're going to ask you for like your business bank account. They're going to ask you for like information like that to make sure that, oh, we got a winner in the house. Hi, Jolena. So they're going to ask you for your business information, and they're going to make sure that you're a viable business. All right, so that you have all of the stuff in place. And we've gone through a live previously about all of the things that you have. Congrats, yes. So we're going to talk about, we've spoken about all the things that you have to have in place that they typically ask for. Other grants, some grants will ask for other things, but we've spoken about before all of the things that you should have in place to be considered a legitimate business, okay? So if you want to revisit that live, I can put that up too. All right, I haven't put that one up, but we can. So this one is America's Top Small Business. If you get the emails, if you're on the email list, then you've gotten this email this morning. You had time to go ahead and kind of comb through it and set up an account already. So if you haven't already, America's Top Small Business is what we're going to do. It's through the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and you need to set up an account. All right. So for those of us that already have, because we're ahead of the game, we're going to go ahead and enter. And we're going to talk about some of the requirements, okay? This one's not due till July. So if you are in that top tier, this would be a good one to have reviewed, okay? Because this is like government related. The question was, can I apply for grants from a brand new business that hasn't generated revenue? Absolutely, you can. So we've actually gone through a couple of applications that were like pre-revenue. That's the kind of grants that you would look for, pre-revenue grants, or inception idea grants, or startup grants. So you're just kind of like fielding an idea, or you're just getting started with your idea, or you are not necessarily started with your business yet, or you don't have any revenue yet. So you look up pre-revenue, okay? Those are the ones you'd be looking for. But still, you should have a bank account anyway, because if your business is registered and you have like the incorporation documents and you have all that stuff, you should have a business bank account. That's like one of the things that you definitely will need to have at some point. No problem. So, let's see. What else? Okay, so that's it. So let's look at some of the requirements that are here. So this is going to be America's Top Small Business, and it's going to be through the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. All right. So in case you were interested in talking to any of the previous winners, because that's something that we talked about doing, right? If I don't know how serious you guys are about going through the grant application, I highly advise that you talk to other winners to see what they applied, what they applied with, what their process was. This was formerly called the Big Dream Award. So if you are looking for this specific grant and you don't see any previous winners, just know that it was called something else at one point, all right? And the point of the grant is to highlight economic growth, all right? That's the key word. So remember, when we're looking through these requirements, we're not looking through them to disqualify ourselves. We're looking through these requirements to understand what the funder is looking for. So we are making sure that we are either aligned with them or we are aligning ourselves with them, okay? You must be a U.S. resident, for-profit business operating at least 1 year within the U.S. So for the young lady who just asked about pre-revenue, that should be fine as long as you're for-profit and as long as you have at least been incorporated for a year. And what else? You have fewer than 250 employees, all right? Or gross revenue of less than 20 million for both 2021 and 2022. So that means if you add both of those up, then you should have less than 20 million for those 2 years, okay? Agrees to all of the award rules that they've included below, which means attending their award ceremony. All right, so they opened this application up on May 4th. It closes on July 7th, excuse me. And then also there's a couple of states that they've included and how they break it down by region. And then there are contest rules that I would suggest that you read, FAQs of list of questions that are typically asked about this particular grant. And then also there's an email address. Good to know, because if there's anything pertaining to our application, that would be, I put your name as to how I heard about it. Yes, thank you, Dr. AJ. I really appreciate that. So if there is anything you want to know in particular, your application, this would be a good email address to kind of capture, okay? Because we do follow up. We're professionals. We're going to follow up with them and ask questions about, the status of our application. And if we don't win for any reason, we're going to ask about how we could have improved on our application to increase our chances next time, okay? So that's pretty much that. So all the other additional things like FAQs and contest rules, I would suggest that you read through. And also, I would say also hold on to support email as well, because I didn't post about it yet, but I have I have a video in my draft right now that I'm going to post maybe sometime later today, maybe, or over the weekend. A young lady, I'm going to tell you guys first. A young lady messaged me on Instagram because she had submitted the Shea Moisture grant application, but she said that she didn't know whether or not it had gone through or not, whether the application gone through or not. And then she was asking me if there's a way that I could check. And I'm like, girl, I'm not affiliated with these people at all. Like, I don't know anything. I'm just sharing what I'm going through these applications like you are. I don't know anything about these people. Not affiliated with any of these grants. I'm not affiliated with these people. I don't know anything about the U.S., the America's Top Small Business U.S. Chamber of Commerce grant. I know as much as you guys know. The only thing I can tell you about is the growth grant, and I have to even ask people myself because there's an advisory board that looks at that. So that's that. So again, if there is information that you want to ask specifically about your application, there's an email here. Reach out to them about your application. Don't call me. I don't know. All right. Don't call me because I don't want to answer it. Don't call me because I really don't know. Okay. So let's go ahead and open the application. There's a PDF version too. So I'm assuming if you open the FAQs, there's a way to submit it via email if you don't have an option for this online submission. Okay. Or maybe once you, no, it looks like once you answer the questions, there's a way to capture the answers that you were able to submit, okay? That's what it looks like. So let's go ahead and answer some of these questions. And for those of us who are just joining, we are looking at the questions for the America's Top Small Business Grant, all right? And if you want, I mean, this one is different, a little different. You can either keep the PDF for your reference for your answers, or you can open a Word doc and kind of keep it how we've been doing it. I have a Word doc open, so I'm going to keep the questions myself. But if you want to do it differently, you feel free to do it however you can hold on to that information. Okay. So we went through the eligibility requirements, but they're asking again. So are you a legal resident? Let's just go ahead and start the application. They're going to ask you for your business name, and then you're going to save and next. Don't click submit entry yet. You're going to save and next. And then, are you a legal resident of the United States? Yes. Is your business for profit? Yes. Is your business based in the United States? Yes. Was your business founded at least 1 year prior to May 4th, 2023? So that means that your business should have been started by at least May 4th, 2022. Yes. Does your business have fewer than 250 employees or gross revenue of less than 20 million in both 2021 and 2022? Yes. So that should be the combined amount or value of those 2 years. Do you agree to all of the award rules, including potentially attending the award ceremony? Yes. And then there's link information about the rules regarding attending the award ceremony, all right? The award rules. So I would say hold on to that too and look into that too, all right? Save and next. General information. They're going to ask you your name, all right? Applicant's name. I'm going to put that in there. Your title. Your email address. Remember, we're putting our email address as the email address for our business, okay? If you have one. Phone number is the same. Use your business phone number if you have it, okay? How did you hear about the America's Top Business? If you can, and if you're willing to, please put Mental Money Podcast, because it does help us be able to, our end goal is to be able to build relationships with these organizations to ultimately help you guys on the back end. And it's actually been working, because someone reached out to me about the quality of the applications improving, and I was able to communicate with someone about it. So it's working, all right? So Mental Money Podcast, if you are willing to talk about how you heard about it, okay? As other, and then Mental Money Podcast. If not, however else you heard about it is fine. Is your business currently a member of the, is your business currently a U.S. Chamber of Commerce member? No, mine is not. And if yours isn't, don't lie, just tell the truth, okay? Is your business a member of a local or state Chamber of Commerce? Mine is not. So save it next. Business industries, a drop down. Pick the industry that fits into the industry that has, if you're in multiple industries, or if you fit into industries that have like multiple segments or kind of fit into different areas, pick the one that has the highest market value. Okay. So meaning, for example, if you were in beauty and fashion, whichever one has like the highest projected growth in the next couple of years, like over the next 3 years, you'd pick the one with the highest. Okay. If they only give you one option, if they give you multiple, then you just pick the multiple that you fit into. All right. It looks like they have an other option here, and I'm going to pick the other. All right. I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, other. All right. Date your business was established would be the date that your business was incorporated, okay? That means the date that you registered the actual business with the state, and the date that is recognized by your state as a business, all right? That's the date that they're referring to. Okay. Business phone number, again, is going to be the phone number, an 888 number or a business number that's not tied to your cell phone, okay? Next, you're going to put in your business's mission statement, and that they're giving you 800 words to put in here, which is pretty generous, to be honest with you. Your business mission statement. Does anyone have a mission statement? Last time we tried to kind of do it where we were trying to kind of get another business owner to come on, but it seemed like, a lot of people had restrictions to being able to kind of hop on to the call or to the live. So is there anyone that wants to hop on, talk about their mission statement and how we could kind of refine it in any way? Does anyone want to do that? No? Okay. I help Black women become professionally trained, skilled, qualified, certified life coaches. Okay. So that's amazing, right? So I would say that your mission, that's your mission. I would probably, since you have 800 words, I would include some information about the number of women that you want to impact, how that impact helps them, and then what the certification or professional training or what the skill sets, certification, training, or the skill sets that they acquire, what they help them accomplish as well, right? So your mission is essentially what you're looking to produce out in the world, the impact that you're looking to have, the long term. I think vision and mission really are the same thing, honestly. We kind of talked about that the last time. So if you were to look out into the world and you want to the ultimate goal of what you hope to accomplish, what does that look like? And then that's kind of how your mission fits into that. So, but I want you to quantify it, right? So, you're saying I want Black women to become professionally trained. So what does that training do for them though? Right? The skill sets that they're going to acquire, what does that do for them? How are they going to now turn around and impact other people? What does life coaching do? How is life coaching beneficial? How does that impact, not necessarily really just only impact, but life coaching? What is the benefit of having life coaching? And you don't necessarily need to kind of list it off as life coaching does this, and that. The mission of life coaching could be overall quality of life improvement, stress reduction. It could be community, right? And I'm just kind of speculating here because we're not conversing, but if your mission is to see 300 women impacted by life coaching certification, and what is the return on that life coaching for them, that they're able to do what with that life coaching? You see what I'm saying? Are they able to build better community? Are they able, when they're now certified, what's the return on the investment for them to become certified? Essentially is what I'm asking. That's how you're going to quantify the impact of the mission, right? Because we can want something for the consumer, but it has to be valuable for them. So them being certified means what and why you're doing it is the mission. Okay. Does that make sense? And does anybody else want to talk about their mission or streamline it? You see what I'm saying? My mission is to help people of color fall in love with their skin again. That's great. I love that. I have a little girl. She's a dark chocolate little girl. I would love for that to be I would love for your project to be realized in the world, so that when she grows up, she has a space where she doesn't even have to fall in love again. She's already in love with it. You see what I mean? So I love that. That could be the mission. Just what I said right there. So if there's a net effect of people being in love with their skin again, could benefit the future generation to not have to fall into the trap of falling in love with their skin later. You know what I'm saying? Like they already have the impact of being in love with their skin. They already have the benefit of walking into love, not having to find love with their skin. So I don't know if that's aligned with what you're saying. I'm kind of just speculating again because we're not conversing. So I'm just interpreting it based on what how I'm reading it. But that could be the mission, right? So the impact of your project could be that, right? I want to help this many people of color, because I would quantify that. How many people do you believe you can impact in this many years, right? I want to help this many people in this amount of time fall in love with their skin again, so that the future generation of children, women, African Americans don't have to reintegrate loving their skin or whatever the case may be. Okay. What is the effect? What are the benefits? What are what's the return on investing in the idea that skin should be loved, that we should return back to loving our skin? What is the return on investment on that? And that's how you'll expound on that 800 word count of your mission. Okay. Because the mission really is that one sentence if we think about that. But if you have 800 words, let's go ahead and let's use some of that. Let's give them an opportunity to really understand how deeply this impacts us and take up that space. Okay. Does that help glow with D? No problem. Okay. Does anyone, I'll do like one more if anyone has one before we move on to the next set of questions. Okay. Does anyone else want to talk about their mission statement or how to like qualify it, quantify it, like that kind of thing? I'm sorry, I'm going to turn on my fan because I'm hot as heck in this room. Okay. Yeah. So anyone else want to talk about it before we move on? No? Okay. I'm going to take the silence as a no. All right. So next set of questions are just more demographic questions, like about your information, number of employees that you have, if your employee count increased or decreased over the last couple of years, social media. So again, we're gonna talk about social media for a little bit. If you, I personally, this is my personal approach. I never put anything that's not LinkedIn. Personal reasons, because it's just perceived as more professional. Facebook, I mean, I don't really, on my business pages, I don't really put anything that's not business related on Facebook. But if you do have a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter page that's not strictly business, please don't put those pages. That would be my suggestion to you, because even though it should not be judged based on the content that you put on there, you will be. Okay. Let's just be for real. They're going to judge you based on the content. So if you're merging like family stuff and like cursing and putting like other salacious stuff on there, that's your prerogative. You have the right to do that. I'm not clocking you for doing that, but they will judge you for it. So I would say if your business page is not strictly a business page, leave that off because it's optional anyway. All right. And these typically don't count against you. So don't worry too much about it. Um, what else? All right, so then let's move on to financial information. All right, so for 2021, it's asking you, yeah, we're moving on to financial information. So for 2021, they're asking you for your gross revenue. 2022, they're asking you for gross revenue. And just for anyone, and I'm not trying to be like funny. For anyone who doesn't know the difference, gross revenue is the total amount, right? No, don't take out taxes. Don't take out anything that you spent. Don't take out anything. The total amount that you made before you do anything else. That's the gross. The net would be the difference of anything else, right? So the total amount of everything that you made is the gross. That's what they want to know. So 2022 is what they want to know. If your revenue decreased, they want to know why, okay? So if you click yes, there's a box that says, please explain. And you have an opportunity to offer an explanation, a 50-word explanation as to why there was a difference in revenue between 21 and 22. All right. What is important? What's one important financial or operational success milestone your business reached in 22, right? This question is optional and it gives you 800 words. If you reached an operational success or financial success milestone, I would talk about that. It's optional, but why not? Because it demonstrates your business's ability to navigate or grow, or maybe you improved on your budget. Maybe you were able to decrease your operational expenses, which is a big deal because we're always trying to increase our profit margin and decrease our expenses, right? If that's what you were able to do. Something else that could have been a success that might not seem like a success, but could be a financial success could be hiring someone, because hiring someone essentially gives you more time and room to run your business, right? And then also typically employees have a way to produce more for your business, right? So it could be like a salesperson or some member of your team that has a way to quantify their output. Does one grant business count? I would say so. Yeah, I would say if you won a business grant, that would count. So operational success would be getting a large cash infusion into your business. And then I would quantify how the grant helped you. Yeah, for sure. And how you're able to use that money to then now win a financial success, right? So the operational success was applying for grants, looking for funding, and then that company essentially believed in your product, whatever it is that you're doing. You got support through that company. That funding allowed you to do X, Y, Z, and it allowed you to realize whatever the financial goal was. So that's how I'd frame that if I was talking about it from a grant standpoint. Yeah, for sure. Yes. Does that answer that question? Okay, no problem. So it's asking you for company's 1120 tax return or a letter that states revenue in 2021 and 2022 signed by both your president and your CEO and your accountant. Okay. This information is required to verify that an applicant qualifies as a small business. All right. So this is interesting because I remember someone was asking a little while ago, not even like when we first started the lives. There was a young lady who was asking if grant applications was something that we'd be willing to do for small businesses. And I told her at the time, no, we're willing to open it up now, right? But I told her no at the time, and that's something that we do for our clients for this specific reason. Because a lot of the grants that we apply for require an accountant's signature. So, right, we do their accounting. So we can account for the fact that we know what actually went into their financials. So for example, if Dr. AJ now wanted to say, Nat, here are my financials, can the accountant sign off? She would not be willing to take that risk because she doesn't really know your accounting. She hasn't done your bookkeeping. She hasn't done any of your reconciliation. She doesn't really know what's going on in your financials. So this is kind of why it's not only important to have good financials, but why we weren't providing the service for anyone outside of clients, because this is important. Now, this is also going to be interesting because what if you didn't file an 1120? right? I would email them depending on your filings, the type of return that you filed. I would ask them what is sufficient. If you filed a 1040 and you had a schedule in your 1040, I would ask them, is that sufficient for this application? And then I would submit it, right? And then maybe even on the face sheet of the submission, just remember to make a note addressed to whoever they tell you to address it to see Schedule C or your K1 or whatever they want to look for to reference your self-employment income or the income related to your business, okay? So, or maybe you have a partnership and not, maybe you have a 1065 and not an 1120. So I would ask about that. Excuse me. So this is kind of like where it gets kind of tricky. So email them and ask them, if you don't have an 1120, email them and ask them what your options are. If you have an accountant, then I would say you can just ask your accountant, hey, I'm submitting for this grant. I need a letter that states essentially my profit loss and whatever revenue was generated in 21-22. We'll both sign it. You can even draft it for them, ask them if there's any points that you want to include, and then have them sign off on it. And they should be able to do that for you pretty easily. Any questions on that or any support that's needed on that? Because they're not going to let you move forward without it. Any questions? No? Okay. So next, scored questions. Is anybody concerned? Well, before I move on, is anybody concerned about that section? I just want to say, in case anyone's scared to answer that question, I think we've established a really safe space here. We're good. You can answer the question. I just want to make sure you have everything that you need to be able to move forward and offer any support that I can in case you do not have these resources in place. So please let me know if you do need support on that. If you don't have that 1120, or if you do need some accounting support and you don't really know how to navigate that, just please say something, okay? Don't discount yourself. Don't put yourself out of the running because of that, all right? So scored questions, all right? So these are questions that they're going to be judging you on, okay? And there's just about 10 questions here. Question number 1, tell us about your business. Describe your business, including but not limited to its history, number of years in business, its product and or services offered. Consider including what makes your business unique, what about your business makes you proud, and what awards and recognition your business has received, and what you attribute the success of your business. Okay, I don't know if Jolina's still here, but the last time we spoke, well, one of the last times we spoke about the business on live, we were talking about like the recognitions that you've had as far as some of the accelerators that you're in and some of the projects that you're doing. Definitely mention those, all right? Absolutely. Okay, good. Absolutely mention those, all right? For the question number 1. Talk about all of that. Talk about the accelerators. Talk about the grant you just won. Talk about everything, okay? That's definitely something you want to do because those are awards. A grant is an award. recognition is being able to be recognized as I forgot what the name of the program is that you were doing, and I'm sorry for the lapse in memory, but that recognition is important. So mark all of those things down because those are important for you. Okay. Definitely. What else? So that's that. I just happen to know those about Jolena, so I can mention her. I don't know if Sharita's here, but Sharita actually has had a lot of great accomplishments in her business too. I would say, Sharita, if you're here, mention those as well that we mentioned during the call. All right. So tell us about your business. So when you're telling them about your business, you're going to be talking, since you have 800 words, that's a lot of words. Okay. It is. You're going to have an opportunity to definitely tell them about why you started your business, how long you've been doing it, which is what they're asking, the product that you're offering. When you're talking about your product, you're not going to say that you make soap. For example, if it was Jolena, right? You're talking about the problem that you're solving always. We don't talk about products. Products don't really matter. They don't even care really about the product. They want to know about the problem that you're solving. And service, they don't really care about the service that you're offering either. When they say product, they mean problem. When they say service, they mean solution. Always change those words around. Whenever you see the word product, immediately think problem. Whenever you see the word service or whatever, think solution. All right. So now the product or service, doesn't matter, either or. When you're thinking about either one of these things, what is it that your consumer is experiencing pain for or they're moving towards? Okay. Is your client moving towards more money? Is your client moving towards better skin? Is your client moving away towards bad complexion, an uneven complexion? Is your client moving away from not fitting into a beauty standard? Is your client moving away towards not having a profitable business? Excuse me. Is your client moving away because they're always either coming towards something, which is your solution, or moving away towards something that is your solution as well. All right. And the problem that they're having is how you're solving the problem. All right. The business is how you're solving the problem for them. Does that make sense? Because I just said a lot of different things there. I was just talking. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe so. Y'all not giving me nothing today. I got Dr. AJ and I got Jolene on the mic. Okay, awesome. So now what makes your business unique in most cases, if you've done like a proposal or a business plan, that's going to be what your strengths are as opposed to your competitors. Okay. What is it about your business that you're doing that stands out from other people doing the same exact thing? Maybe, and we've talked about this before, but maybe it's something that you can just do more efficiently. It doesn't have to be like you are doing the most innovative, top of the line marketing, expensive, or like super ingenious thing. It could just be that you have a different process. You save time. You are, maybe you have a method or a technique that you can do that other people can't do. And surprisingly, I actually just went through this exercise with a client. Her strength was the fact that she's actually a small business. That was one of her strengths. Her strengths, as opposed to her competitor, was the fact that she could give tailored one-on-one service, and her service was a lot more detail-oriented and more connected to the consumer, because whenever the person went to the bigger businesses, they end up falling through the cracks because there were so many different like touch points within that business, right? So that ended up being her value proposition. That's what made her unique. The fact that she could offer more of a one-on-one service, right? There's a higher price point for something like that, of course, but she could make up with that on the back end as far as value is concerned. So even that could be what makes your business more valuable. So don't overthink it. Just think about what is different from you versus the people that are competing against you directly and indirectly. All right. What about your business makes you proud? And you have to answer that question. I really can't tell you what makes you proud about your business, but when they're asking you that question, they really want to know, for the most part, why your business has like a sentimental feel to you for you, but also in a quantifiable way, like what drives you to kind of keep the business going. Okay? Because we really don't engage with things that we don't care for. We really don't pour into things that we don't give a damn about, quite frankly, right? So if we have something that brings us a sense of pride, think about like nationalism. That's the first thing that always comes to my head, right? I'm Haitian. Can't nobody tell me nothing about Haiti. I have a lot of pride when it comes to Haiti because of my culture, because of how deeply woven it is into like the fabric of who I am. Speak the language, cook the food. So like if Haiti was my business, I would be proud because I could see, there you go. Globa D understands. If Haiti was my business, I could talk to you at no end about Haiti. Or if it was like your child, think about like if it was your baby, if you have children, what like kids really don't even do anything that are really like by societal standards valuable as far as contribution or output, but we're so proud of them because they can learn, because they can grow. We revel in their milestones because of their ability to kind of like expand in their own way. So we don't necessarily but those things are things that are dear to us, and we don't pour into those things that are not important to us. So think about the things about your business that kind of hold that same value, and then express that, if that makes sense. I had to give an example because I didn't know how to express it any other way. But think about like nationalism and think about your child. And that's probably the best way that I could express it. Something that you just take so much pride in, no matter what it is. And it might seem meaningless to someone else, but you have a reason why it it holds dear to you. Good morning, M. Robinson. Does that make sense? I hope those were good examples. Okay, and then as far as awards and recognitions, I have complete faith in you guys to handle that. I have complete faith. Yeah, I have complete faith in you guys to handle that part. Okay, so number 2, describe your business's paths to success. Please include how you overcame any obstacles to attain outstanding business achievement and why you believe diversity, equity, inclusion inside and outside the workplace should be a priority for the business community. I wish Sharita was here because she works in businesses that build out these kind of groups for diversity and inclusion. And if I'm understanding correctly, her platform, the organizations and the employees within these groups, the employees within these groups they benefit. It's kind of like a symbiotic benefit to the company as well, because the employees are like re-engaged and they don't feel like the workplace is toxic and all that stuff. And then the employer, of course, benefits because they have engaged, happy employees that are producing, so they get money, right? And then the turnover rate is lower. So there's a bunch of benefits to the employer as well. And then they also get to keep their equity and inclusion and diversity quotas. So I wish Sharita was here so she could talk about that, but this would be a good question for her. But as far as overcoming any obstacles to attain outstanding business achievement, they're really asking you to highlight the skill set, high level, low level, hard and soft skills that you have to be able to operate as an entrepreneur, right? So like no funny business, really Google soft skills, entrepreneur soft skills, entrepreneur hard skills, and see what you can identify with. See what resonates with you, and then talk about some of those skills that you had to implement at any time in your business. Okay. And then that would be your answer for real. So like I would say, like, for example, if an obstacle that you had to overcome, let's say I looked up one of the words and one of the words was like leadership, right? Or one of the words was resilience. Okay. I could talk about how one of the challenges that I overcame was one of the times, and this is a real story. One of the times a client stole, an employee stole from a client that had dementia. And I had to like talk to the family about it. And it became like this whole thing with the company that we were contracted with. And I had to get the HR consultants on the line about how to navigate the situation, and easily could have turned bad, right? But resilience helped me navigate and overcome that situation. Leadership skills helped me navigate that situation. I could probably go down the list of like different things that was an obstacle, like different obstacles that we had to face along the way, because there's things that we didn't know how to navigate in that situation, and how we were able to achieve our end goal. That's just an example. That's not necessarily a business achievement, right? But if it was related to an achievement, I can give you an example if that was an achievement. But look up some words, see what resonates, think about something that you achieved or something that you had to overcome in either sense of the words, and then go back and reverse engineer it. So let's say you think about an achievement, think about some of the things that you had to go through to get to that achievement. Or if you think about something that you overcame or an obstacle that you had to go through, think about the skills that you had to actually implement before you got to the achievement. And then you can talk about that, and you can actually answer that question. Does that make sense, and does that help? And you have 800 words to do this. So you really can split this question like 400, and still give a good substantial answer. Does that help? Does anyone want clarity on that? Does anyone want to share an achievement or an obstacle that they want help kind of like streamlining or like working through how they want to answer? She said, you got us thinking. Okay, yeah. So if you want more clarity, let me know if there's something that you want to work out or flesh out. I noticed a BP is needed to get loans. I'm sorry, I'm missing, for some reason, it's going over my head about what BP is. Help me out real quick, M. Robinson. Business plan. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, all right, so when Jolena won, I announced that I was going to teach you guys the same exact proposal process that I taught her that helped her win. Okay. And that proposal can easily be turned into a business plan. That business plan can easily be turned into a pitch deck. All right. Once you have the proposal outlined, everything else gets easier. That wait list has officially been opened. You can join the wait list if you'd like, and you can walk away with your business plan, your proposal, and your pitch deck. And it will make your life so much easier navigating all of this. And there have been several applications where they've asked for business plans, pitch decks, or we haven't done proposal ones yet. And I want to suspect that that's because they really ask you to outline most of the pieces of the proposal in the application questions. And a lot of proposals are mostly done on like the government higher end funding side. We haven't done any applications that high up yet. So if you want, you can join the wait list. You can get out of here, go to the grant wait list, the grant proposal wait list, and you can join that wait list so that once that training is available, you can get your business plan. But certain levels of funding, so Jolena said 1,000 agree. Grant applications, business plans, pitch decks have the same info. Yeah, it's just how they formatted and pretty much what information you're putting in each section. Pretty much. And so the template that we have for the proposal is like 30 pages, and that's just the base. The base is 30 pages. The business plan is a condensed version of that, and then the pitch deck is just a more condensed version of that. So like Jolena said, it's just tiered information, and banks want to know what you plan on doing. That's that. And honestly, and I've said this before, you guys, and I don't want to distract from the application because I know this is why you're here. But honestly, people don't give out money to save you. No one's coming to save you. I promise you that. And I want you guys to like let that sink in, let that marinate, and let it sizzle in your spirit. All right. No one's coming to save you. What they will do though is if you have a plan, an initiative, or something that you're trying to grow, and you can articulate how you plan, business plan, or proposal, or pitch them on how you're going to grow it, or you have an idea about how it's going to look for it to be implemented, then there's going to be a conversation that can be had. But just to say we're going to fund an idea that's not already working, like you cannot, I just need $20,000 just to have $20,000. How, whatever you're doing right now is not working. It's not working, because if it were working, you wouldn't need me, technically, right? If your revenue model, if your pricing structure, if your marketing, if all of these things were so phenomenal, I would be coming to you to figure out what you're doing. But because it's not, or you have not articulated how it's going to be, you have to come to me. And not me personally. I mean, the bank or the awarder or whatever. So this is the difference between people who stand out and people who don't. And this is, sorry, this fan is annoying me. Okay, so this is the people who stand out versus the people who don't. Because no one's coming to save you. You have to be able to articulate how you are going to use these funds to get a return on the investment, to grow something, not to be saved. That's a donation. That's for nonprofits. And even nonprofits have to show how the funds are going to be used. Like, I'm telling you guys, we got to get out of that donation, free money mindset. That's not what grants are. That's not what a grant is. No. And then again, I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to move on. Grants are the hardest sources of funding to find. You are better off creating a business plan. You can still take this training, but you're better off taking this training, getting a business plan, and going to find a loan. Your odds are better. Assuming your personal credit still needs to be fine. Assuming your personal credit is okay, you've established some sort of business credit, you still need business performance to be able to qualify, and then you need a business plan, right? Because how am I supposed to lend you money when I can't tell whether or not your business can pay me back? And then if your business can't pay me back, who's liable? I need you to be a personal guarantor on that. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is how money moves. This is how money operates in this country. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys, as I'm going to put you on to all this game. But we got to change the conversation around money. No one is coming to save you guys. I promise. Once we let that mindset go, it really opens up the doors of opportunity. There is so much money out there, but we got to let go of that donation mindset. And I promise you things will change. In reality, after you said that, I realized that I'm not allowing myself to step out of dipping my toes into. I'm telling you. Okay, so Jolena said during grant workshop, the presenter said they like to compare to ensure answers align. Yeah. And then she also said, also, there are templates on SCORE and SBDC websites. There are, yeah. Yeah. Actually, the training that we're doing with the proposal, we pulled the SCORE business template, and then we just showed you how to take the proposal and put it into the SCORE template. That's it. Literally. And then last time we spoke, literally the last time we got on live, there were some people who expressed that they were very intimidated by the idea of doing the financials. You guys, financials we can't have conversations about getting money without understanding money. There's no way. It is not possible. No. There's no way. So if we're intimidated, and mind you, the proposal template with the projections, with the projection sheet, very, very, when I tell you very elementary, very elementary. So the guy that does our financial modeling, I asked him, we refined it for months before we actually use it, because I asked him to make it as simple and dynamic as possible. So you have to do as little work as possible. So all you have to do is change this, change that if you need to. You don't have to include complex Excel formulas. You don't have to try to sit there and figure out what's this and that. No, you can remove tabs, add data, remove data as needed. Save as this copy, save as that copy. Because I know how intimidating it can be if you're not used to doing this work. But we explain it, and it's very easy to use once you understand what you're doing. Okay? But you have to do it. You have to be able to have this conversation around money. Because how are you having a conversation about money, but you're asking for it? And I'm not trying to be funny, but that's a real question. Okay. I'm gonna stop ranting now. Describe your, okay, so we stopped describing. So why, okay, so let's go to the second part of the question. Why you believe diversity, equity, and inclusion inside and outside the workplace should be a priority for your business, all right? So this is amazing for us because we're minority women. We already understand inherently why diversity, equity, and inclusion inside and outside the workplace should be a priority for the business and community, because we are a marginalized group. So I need you to tap into every single time you have been either marginalized in diversity, equity, and not included, inside or outside of a workplace, or wherever you see yourself in your business excluded funding, right? You see yourself in not having that conversation. Matter of fact, credit. You can go ahead and talk about that outside the workplace, not being able to access traditional lending institutions, equity, not being able to, or diversity, not having access to diversity in some of these business spaces, right? Equity, not being able to access the same things as other people, right? You experience that as a business owner. You're a minority woman. You can talk about that right there. Right? And then you could talk about how you implementing these things in your workplace, you've seen the return on investment of actually doing that or implementing those things, or what you believe implementing those things would be able to do for you if you did prioritize them, right? Diversity allows us to be able to field ideas from different people. We're able to have more of a sense of community when we're able to understand how our actions will impact others. And we can use, and TART is just a more relevant and timely example, but no, forget them, right? I had this discussion with a young lady one time, right? And I was explaining to her, because I was hired to do this, right? I was explaining to her, they were trying to talk about why she was making an argument for why equity and inclusion did not matter. And my job was to play devil's advocate. And then I gave the example of building a building, okay? And I asked her to outline the blueprint for what the building would look like, okay? And she built a pretty great building, not gonna lie. It was pretty great. It had super good specs. Most people would be able to thrive in that building. However, because of her lack of inclusion and diversity and equity, she did not make that building accessible in the blueprint. Completely left out a group of people. And that was within the workplace, right? So having different voices, I was supposed to be the voice, right? So having different voices, and mind you, I'm a Black woman, so I wasn't sitting here challenging her. I asked her a question, I made her do an exercise, and then she was able to see the error in her inability to include others because there's a lack of diversity. If someone else was building that building that was accessible, that had a disability and needed accessibility, they would be able to see the need for the accessibility because there's different voices in the room that are all accounting for how this building should be built. Does everybody understand why I use that example? That's why diversity is important in the workplace. Does everybody get that? Yes, no, maybe so. No, maybe. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's talk about describe your business contribution to your local economy. All right, Jolena, you can answer this question fairly easily. But for those of us who don't have like a local economy, you have to put some thought into this, okay? If you haven't already created jobs, you need to talk about how you plan on doing it. This is going to annoy me. Sorry. If you haven't already created jobs, you need to talk about how you're going to plan on doing it. All right? You can do that through your own business. You could talk about how you can join forces with, there's like organizations, I don't remember the name of them right now, but there's organizations that, there's organizations that allow, like there's organizations that kind of like transition people from skills learning to employment. I don't know really what they're called. I can't think of it. If someone wants to help me out here, you can align yourself with one of those organizations and like I pledge certain jobs, a certain amount of jobs to them, right? You could talk about how you're going to help forge economic growth, right? Economic growth could be a function of aligning yourself with community organizations. It could be a function of you working with specific local vendors or suppliers. That's always helps fuel the economy. Revitalization could be a function of maybe putting yourself or positioning yourself or making a pledge to grow within certain communities that have been disadvantaged. For example, like hub zones, or they're called hub zones. Other ones are called, I forget what the other ones are called, but hub zones are pretty much a popular one. And that could help definitely grow or revive the economy in that community. All right. But there's a bunch of different ways. You can work with nonprofits. You can work with aligned organizations. You can do a lot of community work that will put you in alignment with communities, with organizations or companies that will allow the community to grow. All right. Job creation is just one of them. Like for example, I gave the example of like a restaurant that only uses local farmers or local suppliers, and that's how they help stimulate the economy, and that's how they get funding, right? So that's an example. Does anyone need any support on that? Because that one's a little bit tricky because it depends on your industry, kind of depends on where you live. Anyone needs support on that? But it could even, and if anyone's confused, that could even go down to like one or two products. Like let's say you have a skincare line, right? And like there's one particular product that you need that can only be sourced in a certain way. You can say that one product, you could easily get it in China for cheaper, but you want to keep that local instead to help the local economy. And that could be your initiative. Or maybe you want a social initiative. Maybe you want to go out and talk to high school students about finances, or you want to create a pledge to donate this much amount of money to women. Or like if you have a education, like for example, the young lady who does the certifications, maybe you want to pledge to be able to certify for every 2 people that join, you certify 1 single mom or something like that. You know what I mean? So that could be an initiative in how you kind of like work around that. But anyone needs support on that because it really is industry and business specific. So I'm just kind of like trying to think of examples to give you guys, but if anyone wants support on that, just let me know. Anybody? Okay, so if you offer scholarships, are you offering scholarships to students? What will the scholarships be used for, if I can ask? I don't know. I don't want to like pry, or I don't want you to share too much. But if you can share a little bit about what the scholarships will be used for, then that would help me kind of help shape that answer a little bit. Partial scholarships into my life coaching center. Okay, got you. Yeah, so definitely, I would say that you could definitely talk about how there maybe is a certain number of people that join, maybe donate a scholarship to a woman in need or who can demonstrate financial need. You could also kind of frame it as an allotment, right? So you can say that you set aside this much money a year for financial assistance, so that like once that pool is dried up, you just know that no other woman could pretty much qualify, right? So then that would kind of generate more interest as far as like the number of people who really do come. So it's not like for every 2 women, 1 woman can come. Maybe you just set aside this much money and then hold a waiting list so that when more people come, there's a rolling list of people who are always interested in trying to come through your door. I think that would definitely be helpful as far as maybe structuring it as an allotment and explaining that you could align with organizations. I don't know what the outcome, and again, this is an idea because I don't know what the outcome of the certification is, right? Because we talked about how when you're talking about your mission, you have to talk about what the outcome of them being certified is, what they'll be able to do with the certification, and what the end goal of that certification for them is. So based on your end goal for the user, how it helps them is who you align with, right? So for example, if the end goal for them is to be able to, okay, let's say it was a profit first certification, which is like an accounting kind of alignment. So I would say I would go to different financial organizations like a chamber of commerce. And I would say, hey, we have this scholarship that certifies women on bookkeeping, for example. And I want to be able to market here at your organization and just put it out there that there are scholarships available. And that's how we'll keep it in the community as a community effort. Let's align and join forces or create this strategic partnership. And I would probably put that in the narrative as that, depending on who I'm aligning with and what the outcome is for the consumer. I hope that makes sense. Because I would then be able to quantify how aligning with these people would be able to help you grow. All right. So let's move on to number 4. Let me know if that's helpful, Dr. AJ. But let's move on to number 4. Great idea. Thank you. No problem. Okay. Describe how your business model is designed for sustainable long-term profitability. Tell us, for example, how your business has evolved or adapted to changes brought on by COVID, inflation, hiring changes, or other external forces. Okay, so this is interesting because I kind of like this question a lot, actually, because it makes you think about risk. All right. To describe how your business model is designed for sustainable long-term profitability is really just what we were talking about before, about how you really are going to make money, essentially, right? How you're going to make money, how you're going to keep money, and how you plan on doing that. And you're going to be talking not only really for real, it's asking you about your business model, but I also want you to mention your revenue model. So when you talk about business model, I always give examples because there's a number of business models that you can use, but I want to give you an example of a business model that's very popular and we kind of use it every day and we know we are familiar with it, right? So for example, a lot of us might join an app, right? Like Spotify, for example. Spotify will say, here, you can use my app, right? Dr. AJ, here's my app and you can use it for free. No problem. Enjoy the music. Here's a couple of ads, limited features. But if you want to be able to access no ads, all the features and all the perks of being on the app, you have to go to the premium model. All right. Now this is called freemium business model. Okay. Freemium. So free to premium. Okay. There's also a subscription model. And I've actually broken down different pricing models. So if you go further down into my content, you'll see all the different videos. And if you want in the replays section, if you're going to pay for the replays, I'll include all of them because I have them aggregated somewhere, right? I'll include all the different pricing model videos or I can break them down for you. Okay. If you want them, you have to let me know you want them though. I'm not having my assistant do any work that y'all don't tell me y'all want, right? Because I got to pay her to do that. So there's different, if you want to go down you by yourself, go down and there's literally a series on my page called Pricing for Profitability where I talk about different pricing models. All right. There's a pricing model that's a subscription model. We pay a subscription model for almost everything that we pay every single month. That's a pricing model, right? It's a type of revenue model. How do you get the consumer to continue to pay you every single month? Okay. So maybe you have a freemium subscription model. That's a different way you can attack it because Spotify does the same thing. You don't have to have one or the other. You can have a hybrid. You can have multiple different ways that you get paid. So how are you designing your business model where you are planning for long-term profitability? And you can, for example, Jolena can even have a subscription model. And I pray she does it in the future, right? Where when, because you know how we speak, right? When people become preachers of her product, she can create a favorites box and at a discounted cost from what the total cost of each individual product is, and people can pay for that product on a subscription. Why not? Because it guarantees monthly revenue, right? That's a long-term sustainable model, but you're still selling the individual products. So you look at the different ways. So look up different business models, pricing models, and revenue models, and then see where your business can fit in. Now, first of all, how it fits in now and where you can improve on it and what models you want to implement that can help you build long-term profitability. All right. That can keep your clients with you as long as possible. All right. Keep your clients paying you on a consistent basis, even when you are not here, even when you're not running the business every single day, even when you're not promoting it every single day, when you're not running it every single day, right? Keep them coming back, keep them paying. So that's part one. Part two, though, is really asking you about risk. All right? Because there are always going to be external factors that are going to impact your business. So like COVID was one thing we could not plan for, but if you had a risk mitigation plan, which is part of a proposal. So if you did not sign up yet for that grant proposal waitlist, you need to leave here right now, go sign up and come back. All right. Because this is something that we're going to be talking about at length. Okay. How do you plan on mitigating your risk? If something were to happen, like COVID or inflation, or you can't hire, or some other thing like some economic factor, some environmental factor, for example, like a train crashes in Ohio and then now you can't get your product, or COVID happens and it creates a supply chain issue, or there's a war and it creates a supply chain issue, or DeSantis decides, or a political factor and DeSantis decides that he no longer, or not now there's some kind of political factor that now in effect affects your ability to be able to literally farm and build buildings. What are you going to do? These all impact businesses. America is a business. You have to have a risk mitigation plan in place. So now think about everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. With the proposal that we outlined, I gave you examples of all the different things that can impact your business. Okay. Not every single thing, but every external factor categorically that could impact your business. And you got to think about what is in your industry and what could impact your industry and create a plan around that. And it shows that you've accounted for what you're going to do if a COVID 2.0 happens. How are you going to pivot? And this is called risk mitigation. All right. And that's how we're going to answer this question. How are we going to pivot? How are we going to keep our customers happy? How are we going to still continue to make money? How are we going to remain profitable? All right. And what are we going to be looking at to be able to do that? Do we understand this? And can we move on to number 5? Are we good to start number 5? Okay, awesome. So number 5, we've answered before for all the people who've been here before with us. And this is going to be the same thing about like your direct competitors versus your indirect competitors. So if you want to, you can pull any of the previous narratives that we've done when we talked about direct competitors versus indirect competitors. Literally any one of those. Okay. Anyone. For those of us who have not been here before and you're new here, I want you to think about your direct competitors as people who do business with you one-on-one, right? Point for point, you are toe to toe and neck with them, right? So for example, if I own a nail salon and then someone down the street own a nail salon, and we pretty much have about the same prices and we pretty much offer about the same services, I would have a direct competitor in that person, and I would have to think about what I want to do different, maybe give a different customer experience, maybe do something differently that would make me stand out to my customers, right? But that's my direct competitor. And then now, in the sense of an indirect competitor, I have to think about someone who is not necessarily neck and neck with me, not toe to toe with me, but I would think of it in terms of where does my consumer go when they don't go there, right? To me, when I think of a nail salon example, okay, you know what, before I say that, who wants to answer? And you don't have to give my answer. It could be any answer really, but I'll share my answer with you. When you think of an indirect competitor to a nail salon, what would you say an indirect competitor is? I have 2 answers that kind of work together. What would you say an indirect competitor to a nail salon is? Spa. Oh, that's interesting. I would kind of want to know why you say that. Because if I'm getting my nails done, do spas do nails? Maybe at home, definitely. But more specifically, who would I be going to get the product from to do my nails at home? And like, where would I be going to get the stuff to do my nails? Like, it's more, the answer's a little bit more complex than that. Anyone else? Drugstore. Yeah, drugstore is definitely, Sephora, Target, Ulta, definitely, yes. So is exactly right. So my thoughts were Amazon and my thoughts, but Sephora, Target, Ulta still on brand. Sometimes spas do nails. Okay, perfect. So Sally's, perfect. So that, and I was also thinking YouTube, right? Because if I don't know how to do it, I still have to source the information from somewhere, right? So those are my thoughts. But again, I could create a narrative around that, but that was just my thought. So this is your indirect competitor. That's how you're going to think about it. When your customer doesn't go to you, where do they go for that either information or product or service or to get the end goal met? I still need my nails done. Where am I going to go get it? And that's how you have to think about that, right? So how does your business meaningfully differentiate from your competitors in the market or customer base it serves? What are you doing for your customer that they can't get from your direct competitor, first and foremost, right? And how have you decided that this is something that you're doing that your competitor needs and is a niche, like meaning that it's like this insulated piece of the market that your competitors don't have access to. Like YouTube, until TikTok happened, really was monopolizing that for a really long time. There's nowhere else you can get that much visual information in one search, right? They could have gone to Google, but then, they became one and the same. So that's what my thoughts are. Yes, congratulations to Jolina. Yes, yes, yes. She did it. I'm so proud of her. It's crazy. And it's so funny. Let me tell you what's so funny about that whole situation. Sunday before she won, we get on a call, and of course she's nervous. Ish. Not really, but ish. That's what I sensed. You can tell me if I'm wrong. And in my heart of hearts, because she just kept saying, they're trying to be realistic, trying to psych herself. I don't know, but Oh, you were still okay. You were nervous. I was sensing that, right? Okay. You know, I don't know, but if I get it, and da da da. Even when she was on the live, if I get it, and I'm just like, girl, you're gonna get it. She's really been doing the work, y'all. I'm telling y'all, she's the work, the work, the work. It doesn't matter how much information I give y'all. If you don't do the work, it doesn't matter. Information is useless without application. She's been doing the work, putting in these applications, making the calls, sending in the emails, follow-ups, the work. All right. There's success doesn't happen by accident. It does not. It really doesn't. You do the work and the work will follow. The success will follow, period. That's how that works. When it's and the thing, it doesn't always happen when you want it to, but it will. It absolutely will. You just got to be patient and do the work. All right. All right. So that's that. So number 6, describe one recent business initiative, a marketing campaign, operational pivot, technology adoption, or leadership move, for example, that generated a return on investment for your business. Please explain why the initiative was undertaken, what the hoped for ROI was, and the actual results the initiative generated. I can't tell y'all what that is, but this is a really good question because it speaks to what we've been talking about as far as the quantification of things. Remember? Because we've been talking about, like, if you put a marketing campaign in place and then you say doing this would result in this, if you think it's going to do that, has it actually done that? And now they're asking you, did you get the return on your investment that you expected? And what that is projections, what you projected it would do versus actuals. Did it actually do that? And I love this question so much because it really does bring that all together. Okay. She said, because I'd be so close to give up on these grant applications. Nope, can't do that. Giving up is not an option. Absolutely not. All right. We don't give up. That's not that's not even part of our vernacular here. We find out what doesn't work. We find out how to improve. We find out how to get closer to the end results. But giving up? Nah. We don't do that. I don't and anybody who ever wants to work with me, oh, y'all hate me. I'm telling you right now. Oh, y'all annoyed with me because y'all can't do that around me. No. Oh, let me say something. If you don't, it's not in our DNA. Can't do it. Like I told you, I'm Haitian. Have you heard about the Haitian Revolution? Girl, you better read something, okay? I don't know. I can't. If you, let me tell you something. If there's anything you want to know about me, read up on the Haitian Revolution, okay? And I need you to understand when they say coupe tete boule kai, that means take off heads, burn houses, all right? That's all you need to know, baby, all right? Losing ain't an option. It's not, all right? We don't lose. We don't lose because we don't quit. That's all. So that's that. And if you want to be around me, you gotta work, gotta win. That's all. That's it. So that's that. Let me stop because I will get on here and preach. All right. Don't get me started. Don't get me activated. All right. Now describe the business initiative. So I like this again because it really it's a full circle moment. If you've really been rocking with me since day one, we've been talking about quantifying. And this is what they're asking you for. Go ahead, quantify it. What have you done in the past? When you said you were going to do this and you said, okay, marketing campaign would bring this much visibility would create this many conversions. The average conversion rate is this. This conversion rate and our close rate would produce this many projected clients. When you did that calculation, that is a projection of what you would have done. Okay? Hold on a second. Oh, thank you. That is a calculation of what you would have done. Okay? Now, if you implemented that idea, Sharita, there you go. Dang, girl, I've been talking about you all live. Okay, so now if you actually did that calculation, and when you did that calculation, were you actually able to realize what you thought you were going to realize? And if not, how close were you actually able to get to that, right? So that's that. And has there been an initiative that you've done that's been able to generate that? So that's number 6. Okay. Hi there. So happy to be thought of. Yes, girl. And I emailed you. I need a response, sis. You had me nervous. I'm like, what happened? Did she submit on time? I need to know what's going on. All right. Number 7, describe how your business has displayed an exemplary level of leadership, and community engagement, especially over the past year, to assist the needs of your employees, customers, and or greater community. Okay, so I'm gonna have to leave you guys with this question too, because these 2 questions, 6 and 7, are really asking you about things that you've already done, right? So you're gonna have to go into the archives of your mind and really think about things that you've accomplished. And I don't want you to put, like, when I say I don't want you to put too much thought into it, don't kill yourself looking for super, like, amazing answers. Just think about something, right? We lead every single day. We're owners. We have to lead, right? You've done something. I'm sure you've led in some way over the last year. So you just got to think of an example. Go through your phone, go through your pictures, go through something that will help you kind of jog your memory to see how you were able to assist a community member, a customer, someone in some way. Okay. And then if you need to, look up leadership qualities. Okay. And then take some of those qualities and outline how you were able to do that through the example that you find in your memories. All right. Number 8, complete this sentence. My business would never have succeeded had it not been for Mental Money Podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, while we love the value qualities like grit, passion, and perseverance, instead, please offer one factor, decision, strategy that proved key to your success, such as the decision to serve an underserved market, getting my business certified, investing in my employees, investing in CRM tools, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. So my business would have never succeeded had it not been for, okay. So they're asking you what you've implemented that allowed you to succeed. Now, again, this is kind of like another one of those questions that are asking you about a specific thing that you have already done. Now, when you're answering this question, just go ahead and quantify how it's helped you. And this will allow you to kind of meet or extend that 800 word count to meet a good qualifying answer, right? So if you said, for example, investing in a CRM tool, don't just say my business would never have succeeded had it not been for HubSpot, right? No. My business would have never succeeded had it not been for HubSpot or implementing HubSpot, or customer relationship management software HubSpot, because HubSpot has allowed us to realize a sales pipeline improvement. Point 1, before implementing HubSpot, we were only able to see 3 clients a day. This is an example, okay? While after implementing HubSpot, we're now able to email this many more customers a day. And now this allows us to convert this many more customers a day. All right. So let's say the improvement was from 4 to 10. The conversion from 4 to 40, the 10x improvement in proficiency, email proficiency or outreach allows us to convert clients at a higher rate, or whatever that rate is, expressed as a percentage, and you can talk about how that has improved your revenue. Okay? So whatever you're going to be talking about that you could not have succeeded had it not been for that thing, the strategy that you implemented, the factor that you put into place, the decision that you made, quantify it in some way, that how it proved your success, the ROI that it was able to give you. All right. For example, getting your business certified. Maybe before you got certified, you were not able to maybe you were not able to bid on any contracts. But now that you're certified, you're able to access 10 no bid contracts easily, or 20 bid contracts with assistance from the SBA, example, right? So think of it that way. But quantify your answer is the most important thing. Talk about how that thing improved on your business. Yes? Thank you, Nolita. And thank you for coming back, dear. Okay. So are we good on that? Good. Okay. No problem. Are we good on this before we move to number 9 and number 10? And then everything else is pretty self-explanatory, and then we'll have a couple minutes to kind of just parlay before we go. Okay. So number 9, share 1 or 2 of your business's top best practices for hiring, training, and retaining employees. Okay. And explain how those strategies have generated results. All right. If you have not hired, trained, or retained employees, then you are going to have to talk about what you plan on doing to do those things. All right. Or strategies that you believe work, or strategies that you believe will work for your business and your work culture, or strategies that work in your industry, if that's the specifics that work for you, right? Because strategies that have generated results in your industry and what you plan on implementing. So don't talk about things that are not relevant to you. Okay. But if you have done these things, then the practices that you can talk about could be a number of things, honestly. Maybe your hiring protocol is that you hire internally, or that you consult internally. That's a practice, right? For example, I have one of the ladies that I interviewed. Actually, you know what? All of y'all, this is what you're going to do. There is an entire month's worth of content on the podcast about hiring. It was the month of February. Okay. I interviewed 4 different individuals about hiring, how to hire, hiring protocols, all that stuff. Okay. And I'll send you an email of the episodes if you want it, right? How to train, how to retain, how to onboard, all that stuff. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because one of the ladies that I actually interviewed, she mentioned that one of the things that they do is that whenever they are looking to hire, we can do that. So one of the things that she mentioned is that when they are looking to hire someone, before they hire outside, they will try to hire inside, right? And that the reason why they do that is because, for example, let's say there was an individual that, let's say they needed one more person on the team or something. They will hire that one team member as a consultant. It could be like a contracting thing, right? They'll hire that one team member as a consultant to literally work out the job description. No problem. So they'll hire the consultants as the, and I'm giving an example. So they would hire that one person as a consultant so that they can build out what the job description would be, how they would help so that that person could keep their technical job, right? And that is important because it's going to impact the other person's job, the original person's job. I hired my first sales intern as a contractor. That's awesome. Well, that works out because you actually now you can answer this question pretty well. And how long ago did you do that, Sharita? Because a salesperson, a sales individual should you can easily quantify the results that they're generating. So that's even better for you because it's how they're converting for you and the ROI for you is easily measured. So that's even better, right? And I don't know if you mind sharing where you hired them from. That'd be great too. If you don't mind. If you do, then I'm not trying to be nosy. But if you don't, then a couple of weeks ago, we're still onboarding. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that works. So you can talk about this. So what were your top hiring practices? What are you doing to train that individual? And what do you plan on doing to retain that individual? Because and this is what we were talking about before, because there was a diversity and inclusion question further up. And that's why I said that that question would have been good for you because of your ERG program, your ERG solutions, right? So the retention piece is even important too. Elevate. They train and certify salespeople. That's awesome. There you go. They train and certify them. That's even better. So for you, your top business practice for hiring and training could be that you outsourced your training, you outsource your sales. So for example, one of the top practices for you for this question number 9 on this application would be that you've outsourced the hiring and training to a third party, and you'd have to describe the company, of course, right? You'd have to really talk them up about how they are, why you chose them. Are they the standard for training and hiring? Right? And then now you have to talk about how you plan on retaining this person and and talk about the revenue or how they're generating results for you and why that's the best thing for you in this situation and why you chose contractor in this scenario as well, right? So that would be the hiring practice for you, is to outsource that kind of work. Does that make sense? I feel like I don't feel like I'm giving enough answers on this. I don't know why I feel like I want to say something else, but I'm not hitting it the way I want to. But does anyone have a question about this? Maybe that will help. But I will send you guys those videos. Let me make a note for it's forgotten. And I didn't forget about the person that you guys asked about for the podcast episode on the IP. I'm just kind of fielding my network to see who is someone that can actually give that interview. So send out email about employment month. Okay. Yes, because I'm not financially ready for direct employee yet. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that works. That's actually a legitimate reason. You don't want to burn through. You don't want to. Not only, well, I mean, you don't want to burn through whatever funds you do have available, but also it's a way to strategically scale. You can really just say that, for real. It's just a way to help manage your expenses. It's a way to really manage where you are right now. And it's a way to kind of just test the efficiency of being able to have someone that can help you generate that revenue, be able to see test out how they actually are being helpful in your business, and then be able to quickly pivot if they're not generating what it is that you need them to generate for you. It's a strategic risk mitigation strategy. Strategic risk mitigation plan. Part of a strategic risk mitigation plan is what I wanted to say. No questions on that, because I'm going to move on to question 10. Okay. Describe a recent and notably successful marketing, advertising, or branding strategy at your business. What did you aim to achieve with the strategy? What were the concrete results that showed you the strategy was a success? Okay, so this is another one of those things that are asking you what you've already been able to do and to quantify how you were able to determine what you projected you were going to do versus what you actually were able to accomplish. So this is kind of one of those questions that are very similar to question 6. All right. So same answer. I'm not even going to go through the whole thing again because it's really the same thing. If you have not done it, you can talk about something that you plan on doing and why you believe it is, and when you talk about the concrete results, maybe you're basing it, maybe the basis is another industry or another company in your industry that's done something else successfully that is similar, and that's the basis for why you believe it's a concrete result. But if you don't have a business plan, then you need to join. You need to leave here, right? You have to go to the link in my bio. You have to click on grant proposal waitlist, and then you have to come back. That's what we have to do. Yep. I know, I'm sorry, but that's what I got for you, girl. So what you aim to achieve with the strategy, what are the concrete results that showed you the strategy was a success? Okay, so what concrete results are just going to be the basis of what the other brand was able to accomplish, essentially, if you do not have this in place. All right. And if you do, then you can talk about what you were able to do. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on, and then we're going to talk about self-identification. Let's see. So these questions are easy. Just how do you identify? You identify as a woman and minority, right? So these are relevant to us. If you are a part of the young entrepreneur owned, I would see what if I will go through the FAQs. If it was me, I will go through the FAQs first and see how they quantify or qualify you as a young entrepreneur. What like the age range is, because I think I'm young, but whatever. And then LGBTQ plus, if that's appropriate for you, and then they have other option too. So that would just be how you identify. But remember, there's also certifications, right? So those are not the same thing. So if you're certified, like you've actually gone through the certification process, that's not what they're asking you about. They're asking you about what you identify as, how you see yourself, okay? Which of these applies to your business? Identifies primarily as green, sustainable, eco-friendly. Jolena, that's all you. Family owned, if that's appropriate, that's you. Performs government contract work on a state, local, federal level. If you are contracted with the government, that's appropriate. Operates in a rural area. I think that's also you, Jolena. Operates in an urban area. That'll probably be like hub zone-ish. Focuses on serving military veterans or first responders. If that's appropriate to you, then you click on that. And then there's multiple boxes, so click whatever applies again. All right. Which of these issues have impacted your business in the last 12 months? Access to capital is going to be all of us. All right. Federal, local, state regulation, infrastructure, customer demand, technology, needs. Okay. So pick any of those that are helpful for you. How do you view government role in your business? I'm not going to even answer that question. All right. How are you feeling about the future of your business? That's another question that's for you. All right. Attachments. Let's see. Optional attachment. Attach any additional items you'd like to share with judges. Okay. So here we go. All right. So now, here we are. The moment has arrived, right? They ask you to attach optional attachments, any additional items you'd like to share with judges, business plan, statement of goals, letter of recommendation, customer reviews, or a video. All right. You are going to attach a video. You have the video outline. We've done this live before. You know what to put in that video. So we're going to put a video in there. Do not make it more than 3 minutes. You don't need more than 3 minutes. Matter of fact, you don't need more than 2 minutes. Put a video, right? Put a cover with the grant's name on it somewhere. I showed you a video template. Put the grant's name somewhere and on the cover. And then also mention them when you're talking about receiving support from them. We've done this before, right? It's also in the replays. You're going to submit your business plan. Yes, you are. Yep. And if you have a letter of recommendation or a letter of support, you're also going to put that in there too. We talked about that before. That's one of those things that we were talking about, like things that you should just have that just kind of help bolster your business. Letter of supports are one of those things that just kind of give you a little, it doesn't guarantee you're going to get funding, but it gives you a little bit of a okay? Because it shows that there's another business or another entity, a government, a politician, something notable that's willing to put their energy and effort behind you. If there's someone that you're strategically partnering with, get a letter of support from them. Get a letter of recommendation from them, right? But you want someone high up though, okay? Like an exec, you want someone on the higher level. Don't just get like a manager. And that's not a slight at that title. It's more impactful when it comes from someone at that level. Any questions, concerns, comments? But this is why I say you need these things, guys. I'm not making this stuff up just to sell you stuff. I'm showing you how it's applicable every time we go through these applications. Thank you, Nikki. I'm showing you how it's applicable. I'm not just talking to talk. I'm showing you. It's here. If you have one, you increase your chances, you guys. That's all I got to say. All right. Any questions? Thank you again for your time. Absolutely. No problem at all. No problem whatsoever. Again, it is my distinct honor to serve in this way. It is. I knew it was this time to get online and share this information. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a very big spiritual person. Do you have limits on how many attachments we can upload? Let me see. I'm just going to I'm scared to upload something because what if they don't let me delete it? I'm scared. I'm not going to lie. Hold on a second. Let me just put up a random picture. Let me see. Did they let me delete it? Okay, yeah. Okay. Ooh. All right. No, it's letting me put multiple things. Thank you for the gems. No problem. Yeah, it's letting me put multiple things. It says some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community experience. Thank you, Lord. All right. So how do we work with you? There are several links in my bio. You can take your pick. We have, if you want to watch this replay, there's a link in the bio that says replays. And there's 2 tiers. There's one that's just the replays. And then there's one that's the replays with a bunch of goodies, right? There's like templates and contact information and video templates and other things like everything that we're like, it gives additional support to things that we talked about on the lives, right? If you want a one-on-one just to kind of flesh out your business idea, there's a consultation for that. If you already have a proposal or you have a pitch deck or you have a business plan and you want to streamline it in some way, there's a consultation for that. If you don't have any of those things and you want to build those out and you want us to help you build those out, there's a package for that. If you want to join the wait list for us to teach you how to do those things and you don't want us to do it for you, there's a wait list for that. Yeah, so pretty much, I think we've pretty much covered our basis as far as things that we could offer. And then we just get on live. And for anyone who and honestly, like, I'm not the person that's delusional enough to believe that everyone's going to be able to do this as far as being able to afford it. So for someone who wants to just take the information and take a shot at doing it themselves, this is what the lives are for. Just keep showing up to the lives. That's cool too. Commune with other people. Jolena gave information about SBA having business templates earlier today, right? A business plan templates earlier today. You can grab that there because that's actually something that we reference when we teach. There you go. Come and commune, right? Sharita shared that she hired a sales contractor on Elevate. That's a new platform that you learned about. When you are ready to hire someone, you now know about that platform. If you didn't know about it before, now you know. You are now accessing a bunch of different individuals that are literally all on the same page as you. We are all here trying to do the same exact thing. There's a winner amongst us. Commune with her. I tagged her in that video. And I've been teaching you guys this too. Like, when you are applying to these grants, you want to know who's won. What did they do to win? Right? What are they saying? What are they doing? How did they apply to this? You want to know. What did you apply for? What did you put in your answers? And how did you win? That's what you want to know. There's a winner amongst us. You need to be talking to her. Don't talk to me. Talk to her. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what this is for. So if you can't afford those things yet, or you need to work up to that, or you feel like you need to work up to that, this is what this space is for. Because I realize that this is still important, right? You might want us to still get your feet wet. You might still want to just kind of work through the answers and flesh out ideas. And this is what the space is for. This is what this time is for. And this is what I'm making myself available for. So if you want to come here, let's talk. Let's work through these answers. I've literally, Dr. AJ gave me some insight into what her business was. I literally worked out her business mission with her. I don't mind doing that. This is what the point is. So consultations are in the link in the bio. The grant opportunity lists are there if you want to look at some applications on your own. Also, the second tier of the replays, if you want, it also includes 3 applications a month. We'll look at them for you and tell you, hey, improve on this answer, and then submit. And we'll get it back to you in 3 days. Okay? Who gave the info for the proposal? I missed it. So SBA. So that's not the proposal. It's a business plan template, right? It's the Small Business Administration. And if you want us to go through that with you, let me know. So, yeah. It was a pleasure, ladies. What time is it? 2:05? If y'all don't have any other questions for me, I'm gonna head out because it's Friday and I want to turn up a little before I go pick up my baby from school. So, yeah, I'm gonna go. But if y'all don't have any other questions, or do you have any other questions before I go? Absolutely. Okay. It's been a long week. All right. It's been a really long week. So it's turn up time. It's mommy turn up time. Oh yeah. And Sharita, please email me back. All right. Cause the way my anxiety is set up, I need to know what's going on, girl. All right. I need to know, did you submit? How did the proposal turn out? What's going on, girl? I'm invested. I need to know. All right, y'all. So if if nothing else is needed from me, I'm gonna go. All right, y'all. But y'all be good. I did DM you too. Okay, perfect. So if y'all don't need anything else from me, I'm gonna go again. I said that like 4 times now. I'm really gonna go now. This live will be up later on today. No problem. This live will be later on today. Up later on today. And I feel like I had an announcement to tell y'all, but I don't remember now. Told you about the wait list. Told you about the links. I'm going to send you the podcast episodes about the employment. Told you about the IP. Let me see. Was there something else? I don't think so. If anything, I'll just include it in the email I'll put it in the email. But yeah, this will be up later on today. All right. So have a blessed weekend. And if I find, that's what it was. If you guys find any grant opportunities, please DM me or send them to me. All right. And they have to be, okay, so I'm going to email about this. That's what I was going to do. That's what I was going to tell you, but I was going to send you. Okay. That's what it was. Hold on. And now email about grant opportunities. Okay. Yes. So if you find any grant opportunities that are universal that we all can use, these are the parameters. They have to be for profit. It doesn't necessarily have to just be minority women, but if it is, that's better for us, obviously, right? But universal. Are you in the BOA Cornell group? I've done that. I did that program like a year or two ago. I don't know if there's a group about it. Is there? Could you DM me, Dr. AJ? Send me what you're telling me about. Yeah, DM me, Dr. AJ. I think I'm following you. Oh, I wasn't. My bad. I'm following you now. Do you get their grant list? I should. I think that's one of the lists that we reference. Yeah, I think we're on BO. I think we're on BOA's list. We're on 2 other lists as well. I think we're on like 3 or 4 lists. We have a fab group. Yeah, send me. I just followed you, Dr. AJ. Could you send me that information, please? I can't access the grants list anymore. No way. Why not? Like the Excel, the Google Drive, the Google Drive link. Because the thing is, okay, so here's the thing, Sharita. Every time it's updated from the Google Drive link, the last Excel sheet will not work. So you have to look for the most recent one. I think it was sent out on May 6th. So so what happens is we don't update that one fixed document. I didn't get an email. Okay, so I'll send out another. I'll have it sent out again. Hold on. Send out email, updated grant list. You know what? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make standard email template. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Emma to make a standard email template so that that grant list, the most recent updated grant list, is always in every email we send. So that even if you got an email, so the email that you got this morning, it would have been at the bottom of that email, if that makes sense. So that you don't have to go back and search for it. I think that's the only way that's going to really make sense. So you don't have to kind of keep going back. But I would say though, when you do get it, when you open it, try to copy it and save as an Excel or a CSV or something. So you do have a hard copy of it on your desktop or hard drive or something. Okay. So it doesn't only live online. But yeah, that's what I was going to tell you guys. Okay. So I'm going through opportunities because I want to see what other opportunities we can go through. If we are going live tomorrow, I will definitely make an announcement about it. because I try to plan these. Well, Emma usually looks through them and sees how far ahead of time we can go to see if we can do it. I haven't gotten her email. I haven't looked at my email yet, but I will look at my email to see if she said scheduled any for tomorrow, and then I'll make a video about it tomorrow. But if not, I just kind of want to stay ahead of the opportunities, because if I continue to offer the fact that people can send us in applications for us to review, then I want to give enough time for people to watch the replays, give their answers, and then submit the actual ones that they want to pick, right? So for example, this one's in July, right? I don't want you to send that now, because there could be so many more opportunities that come between May and June. So like, let's say you want 3, you could pick the 3 that you want for May. And then when July comes later, you can just send that one with July's batch. But we've already done the replay for July. You've already had those answers aggregated for July. So that's kind of how my mind is operating. So I want to be able to get through as many applications as we can. So we always have that content pooled. You have your applications ready. You can submit at least 3 of the ones that you want reviewed, as much as possible, or as time appropriate as possible. So that's what I was thinking. But anyway, but yes, please send me anything you find, is what that's about. So I will send that in an email for like this week's newsletter or something. Other than that, y'all be good. And I'm going to go now for real this time. Bye. Have a good day.